Early signs of cerebral palsy. This week we've been covering little traits of cerebral palsy that can be happening with your child. One of them is the elbow. There's several reasons why the elbow can be a sign of cerebral palsy. Again, this is in combinations with all of these things. We're going to be talking about what can be happening medically, or there were procedures on the arm, as well as what can be happening neurologically. One of the things that the elbow does in the beginning is cross a midline. Again, you're seeing this again with my whole arm, but you should see this, and I'm just going to get up. But the elbow, right, should cross a midline, right? You'll see this in various different ways. With cerebral palsy, the elbow tends to, again, you'll see it in the wrist, but also in the elbow, a commitment, right? So maybe the elbow sticks out, or you'll see a commitment where the elbow comes in, right? But what happens is a lot of your reflexes then can't set up because, again, AT&R, again, when I say reflex, reflexive movements against gravity. They're not a neurological reflex, but AT&R is a push against gravity, right? But it opens up the scapulas and the upper thorax crosses midline for the first time. Again, elbows crossing midline, and then your spine starts to cross midline. That's what a true AT&R is. It's a push against gravity, right? And that's what articulates our skeletal system. One of the problems with cerebral palsy, and this will be tomorrow's thing, is skeletal articulation, is the movement of your bones. They need to happen with a certain tonus and so forth. Like I said, we'll cover that tomorrow. But your elbows are really important. Now, what are some of the reasons why this might have happened? First of all, NICU time. A lot of IVs, this, that, and the other. The ulna and the radius, you have two bones in the lower arms, two bones in your lower legs. There again, this is your SERF. This is, if we didn't have those, and this is again what looks more like cerebral palsy. You'll see the two bones acting as one. But when the two bones act together, right, that's what helps sway the midline and the elbow. When the bones are one, and again, this could be fisting, it could be elbow, you can go on and on, but the bones act like one. And see, I'm not crossing a midline. And this is where you can have these concerns. IVs, blown IVs, especially when they ripple the fascia in between the ulna and the radius, that can be one of the causes. It could be a PICC line, central line, where again, you'll see an arm maybe go out like this. It could be the way that the baby was presented from the womb. Again, please, guys, I'm not here to throw a professional under the team. But again, what you might think is a torticollis, just a little bit too much here in just the thumb of presenting the child, especially when they have to stop, cord wrapped around the neck, and they do that and then present the baby, again, could set up where the elbow has an issue. The way that the child is lying in the NICU, just being on the arm could be enough of a movement complication to create elbow movements. We covered this yesterday, PVLs, PVL3s, brain damage, PVL4, where let's say I have a right side trauma, is going to give me a left side. Stroke in utero, there's a lot of things, CMV, that can create these kind of things. Viruses, infections, and birth trauma have a huge effect on the way our elbows work. And that's one of the things you're looking for when you're doing your newborn movement assessment. This is why I do this. You'll catch these things. Everything that I'm talking about, you'll catch the first day of life, right? Two things I have to say, guys. Catching your child's cerebral palsy or anything first day of life versus waiting for said diagnosis, average age 18 months, right? Because that's how long they wait for the MRI. That's how, and that's where I get this conversation. We're not sure, but our child might be at risk at CP. When someone's mentioning the word cerebral palsy, act like you have it and start getting going. But when you start seeing the combinations of what I'm talking about this week, that's where, again, you're understanding how your child's processing differently, and that's where you're going to go after is the organization of their movements. You're still working with your professional team, but you're still working with your movement team. Thanks.